Hello again. We are coming back with another video, and this one is going to be interesting because it is going to be covering a wide range of topics. I won't be able to talk about all of them in detail because there's so many I have to get to, but unfortunately, I don't have that much footage to run off today. I really like it when all of my footage is unique, and so I either try to record my footage the day of or the day before I actually record, myself talking right now. And so, because I just simply didn't have enough, I'm going to be waiting until the next video because I want to be able to actually get quality recording and footage for that video. And I don't think I have enough in order to go over everything here. But this will not really harm the quality of either of these videos. These will be just two parts, and we are going to be talking about quite a few things. This is going to be very interesting, but yeah, so just enjoy the video. Okay, so what are the range of topics we're going to be discussing? Well, a while back, about 2 months ago, I made a post online, not on X, but on Discord actually, and it listed out a ton of really quick things that I believed, and now we're going to be going over those. We're going to be going over about half of them in this video. But yeah, let's begin. So the first one here is capitalism is a positive. I think that capitalism throughout human history has been the greatest driver of growth and prosperity ever in humanity. And I think that we should definitely stick to capitalism. We should definitely not do something like socialism. It's really dumb if you look into it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about capitalism. We should all be supportive of capitalism. Now, don't end the Fed. Now, the Fed, if you aren't really too involved with this, you might not know what the Fed is. This is the Federal Reserve, and a few of the functions they do is they set interest rates for when they lend to banks, because banks actually lend from the Federal Reserve. People lend from banks, and banks will lend from the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve decides what interest rate they're going to charge people for that amount. And they usually do this to control for inflation. If the rates are too low, then that means inflation can go high, and if the rates are too high, then inflation might go down too much. And if it goes negative, then that's really bad. I would explain it, but just know that that is what caused the Great Depression and the 2008 financial crisis. So, yeah, just know that, take that into account. And the Federal Reserve also controls the printing of money. They dictate how much is printed. And now, without the Federal Reserve, a lot of people advocate for this thing to be abolished because they think that it is the main driver for inflation. Now, inflation would always be happening. It's just that instead you would not see any sort of control for it. What happens just happens plainly, and you'd also have no regulator to decide how much money is printed. Now, money isn't actually typically printed in large quantities like you see. It's rare that companies will print significant amounts of money. That doesn't happen a lot because usually when it does, it leads to an economic crisis. See Germany and Hungary in the 30s or 20s. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Now, next one here is drastic. Okay, so what you would have heard is me talk about something that YouTube might not like very much, and I know that there's some things that they are much more so against than other things, and yeah, I just decided to skip this one because it's just it's just something else. I mean, I don't really feel like adequate, you could say, with talking about it in a video. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for this. We're just gonna move on now to the next topic here without going over this one. So yeah, little opinion on abortion. I don't care about abortion too much. I would say I'm pro-life, but it's just an issue to me that is not really that major in how, if I were to vote right now, it wouldn't be one of the top things that I consider. Anyways, next one is now I'm not actually gonna say this one because I don't like the curse, but Democrats basically don't care about us. I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with this. There are a lot of things that they really have no idea what to do about them, and instead they just promote policies. They're not actually promoting to do anything. They're just saying they're going to stop the other side from doing something that's evil. Like, take Social Security. Social Security is a program where in the late 2020s, the very end, or the beginning of the 2030s, there will be a 15% cut in how much that retirees receive in Social Security checks. And what are we going to do to fix this? What are we going to do to fix this? Democrats have no idea how they're going to fix this, but if Republicans say anything at all, I mean, I'm not for ending it, certainly not. I'm not for privatizing it, really. And Democrats, however, will just say, oh, well, they're going to do this evil thing. We're going to protect it. And they're not even protecting it. They're just waiting to allow it to die, essentially. But yeah, let's continue. The median voter is retarded. I'm convinced that in most cases at least, the median voter is retarded mainly because they don't actually study the issues. And I think that one of the best examples we can think of for this is how people will usually just adopt the beliefs of what their parents think without giving any actual thought. That book I was reading a book from a man known as John Stuart Mill. It's known as On Liberty, and he talks about how in it a lot of people just tend to believe what their parents believe, and as a result, they just don't actually really have any reason to defend it. They don't actually know why that belief is important or anything at all. And that is not good at all, because it's going to lead to situations where you have tons of people who may believe the wrong thing for no reason at all, but it still wins just because, people believe it and they've created these own reasons in their mind for it, whether it be something very smart or something very dumb. And I think that's a problem with it. Another issue is that a lot of people really don't have the time to really study it, understand things. And now I'm a kid, and so I have somewhat more time. I can look at this in my free time, my spare time, but not everyone certainly can do that, and so it creates a bad situation. But let's continue. Many of the current firearm restrictions in place are reasonable. I do believe this because I think that there are some gun regulations. I understand the Second Amendment, but I think I'm a pragmatist. Pragmatism is basically the belief that you're not holding yourself to a set of principles or specific ideas. I might have already said this in a previous video, but I think that we should be aiming our gun policy to be the most smart, not to just, completely eliminate all restrictions. There's red flag laws. I'm not sure if I agree with those. Red flag laws are pretty much just being able to take guns from people who are insane or whatever. But those, as far as I've heard, would be illegal or unconstitutional. And so, a legal alternative would be thing known as yellow flag laws, which I believe the state of Maine has adopted. Then there's other restrictions on things like machine guns and whatnot, and I think that there's some line where the benefit of having it and the danger of having it cross, and where one becomes greater than the other. Like, the benefit of having handguns legal is certainly outweighing the downsides, I would say. Long guns even more so, or most long guns even more so, because, well, guns prevent tons and tons and tons. Those guns prevent tons and tons and just way more than I could count deaths every year than shootings cause. But at some point, like, you look at, I'll put something on screen here. You look at that, and I'll be honest, having this thing would be absolutely epic. This would be insanely cool to have. But to me, I also think not just that it's cool, but also, what is the practical use for this? I mean, I don't think for self-defense it would be very useful, because for self-defense, this gun it's insanely difficult to carry around. You're probably going to make noise while you're doing it. Not very stable. The recoil would be insane. So, for hunting, most guns are very popular. It would be unlikely that you could just legalize a gun like the one I'm showing on screen here and just have a ton of people who think it'd be cool. I mean, there'd certainly be some people who do it, but I don't think a lot of people would do it. Many people might find that they don't like it, considering that it requires certain things. Like, if you were having a gun like this, you'd have to be pretty far away, be able to withstand the recoil, and have pretty good aim, which is not the same as hunting in other places. I mean, of course, you will almost always need to have good aim, because a lot of times you are long range and whatnot. But a gun like this, I mean, what is the point of this? And also, if I don't really think that is something that we necessarily need. And I don't think that its benefits of preventing shootings, self-defense, and hunting would outweigh the very large potential risks it could have. Like, these guns here are very similar to these, and I mean, like, we've all seen that scene from COD Modern Warfare 2, I believe it is, and the potential for violence is huge. But yeah, anyways, I've talked about this way too long. Let's continue. We should cultivate a society where wealthy people love America more than the profit motive influences them. Okay, this is very important. This is a very important part if we're going to have a strong society, because, well, if we have a bunch of wealthy people who care more about making money than the well-being of their countrymen, their citizens, fellow citizens, then what's going to happen? Well, let's take rich people who, let's say, they want really cheap labor, and so they import foreign workers who, if they are on a visa, they are legally allowed. The business owner is legally allowed to pay them 34% less than the median wage in the area. That is very obviously something that should not exist, and it's allowed. It's perfectly legal. And I mean, to any business person, why wouldn't they do that? But this, all it does is it just ends up hurting Americans in the name of making money, because instead of employing one of your own fellow citizens, you choose to employ someone else because you know that you can pay them less. That is something I just don't. I know how much you guys love cuts, but this one, what I said in these notes, yeah, I have no idea why I called them notes. They were much worse than they implied. They are much worse than what I've said in pretty much any recording of any video. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to make it sound bad, but it just came out absolutely terribly. Like about the gun stuff, like I started getting into stuff about school shootings, and already YouTube's not gonna like that, just me saying those two words together. But it just got so strange within a matter of minutes. But on the good side, on the flip side, we get to go straight to the outro now, so I will see you now in a few seconds. Okay, well, they are finally here after only actually like an hour later. I added in a lot less images, like the average amount of images per, I guess, minute was not nearly as much as usual. And I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to do more. And I mean, I definitely could, but I am really just a lazy person, so I chose not to. Uh, if you have gotten through this, then you might have read in the description that this required more of your actual, like, brain power to comprehend. And so, I mean, obviously, like, I believe images are good for learning, but a lot of this stuff seemed pretty ambiguous and difficult to find images for. Of course, I did set myself up to add images in some places, and in others I just added them in because I felt like it would add a lot of important and needed clarity. But if you are able to understand this video um, without needing the images really a lot, then congratulations to you. You don't really get anything, because I'm really hoping that that's what most of you who are watching are able to do. But yeah, I've been talking for way too long now. I have other things that I want to do today before I go to sleep. So yeah, see ya.